Yo, guys, this is wild. Did you guys hear about yesterday the United Healthcare CEO getting gunned down in the middle of New York City, the surveillance state? Basically, the whole place is watched by cameras. The dude gets gunned down in the middle of New York City with a silenced pistol. Dude, this is wild. Apparently, the shooter left messages on the bullets? What is going on, man? Post-video chromo update. We got his face. Guys, check this out. I'm going to show you the video, and then I'm going to show you pictures.
Developing right now, police in New York City are closing in on the identity of a suspected killer that gunned down a prominent CEO. New photos released just a short time ago showing the gunman right here that authorities say shot Brian Thompson. Thompson was staying at a hotel in Manhattan for an investors conference. Our Morgan Norwood has been on the story since it happened. So, Morgan, police releasing these photos just a short time ago. What do we know about the search?
Kira, yeah, police releasing those photos just minutes ago. They're blasting them out all over the city. There are wanted posters everywhere that you look, $10,000 reward being offered. You can see that suspect there. His face a little bit more clearly this time. Looks like he's possibly smiling in that photo. And then there's this other photo as well. In addition to the new images, Kira, we're also learning that at this hour, authorities are searching a hostel on the Upper West Side here in New York City. That's where they believe the suspect had been staying. Again, authorities are there as we speak. They also believe that he shared a room with two other men. All of this comes as we get new doorbell camera video. It shows the moment that the suspect rides away on the e-bike on the Upper West Side. So, you know, there's a common thread here, the Upper West Side, and that seems to be where that search zone appears to be contained. Eyewitnesses also snapping a photo of the suspect as he took off from the shooting. So again, these sightings, Kira, are really critical to police when it comes to piecing together this timeline, placing him in these different areas and trying to narrow that search zone and ultimately find out where he's holed up and where he's hiding at this.
He stayed in a hostel. Okay. All right. So here's some pictures. Can I get them close up for you? Can I get them closer up? Yo, so these are the photos of the guy. This is the guy's face. What was he doing? First off, if he was gonna drop his mask like that, where's his baseball cap? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo. Anyway, so we got his face. I got all the other details for you right here, guys. Let's get back to the video. So I've got a couple of articles here for us to give us a comprehensive breakdown of what the hell happened yesterday. All right, United Healthcare CEO fatally shot outside Manhattan Hotel in a targeted attack, and the suspect is at large. Dude, this seemed like, from everything I can see from expert interviews, like a potential amateur professional hitman job that was well planned in advance. Okay, the reason why they think it's an amateur is because the bullets were spent and left on the floor. Okay, now here's the crazy thing. There were messages on those bullets. So when it looked like the gun was jammed, what if he knew what messages were on what bullets and he loaded the clip in order and he knew pop which bullets to extract out of the chamber to leave the message that he wanted to leave. So he might not be as much of an amateur as he looks like off the jump. You get what I'm saying? But let's get into it. Let's figure out exactly what happened. And dude, this is wild, bro. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was shot outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan on Wednesday and rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Yo, we're not showing the video here because YouTube doesn't like that stuff. You can find it all over the place. It's real low quality. You don't really see much except for the long pistol. People were wondering whether it was one of those gas-chambered pistols that kind of holds the rounds in until you extract it yourself. Who knows? People were thinking it was either a dirty pistol that he didn't clean properly, so he might be an amateur, or some people were talking it might be one of those gas-powered pistols that are actually used by Hitman that do that kind of thing. So, speculation, right? But let's get into it. The New York City Police Department asked the public for its help in apprehending the unidentified gunman who allegedly shot and killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan early Wednesday morning, decrying what investigators deemed a premeditated, pre-planned attack. The Hilton Hotel was hosting the United Healthcare annual investors meeting, and police said Thompson had been in town from Minnesota since Monday and was staying across the street. It appears the suspect was lying in wait for several minutes. As the victim was walking to the conference hotel, the suspect approached from behind and fired several rounds, striking the victim at least once in the back and at least once in the right calf. Wow, and still got a kill. Damn. NYPD Commissioner Jessica Titch said in a press conference, many people passed the suspect, but he appeared to wait for his intended target. The suspect fled first on foot, then on e-bike, and was last seen in Central Park on Center Drive. The shooting came as tourists flocked to the annual Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting, which will take place just blocks away from the scene later Wednesday night. Wow. Wow, man. Right in the middle of the open, right in broad daylight, the middle of New York City. Dude, there was a witness there. It almost looked in the video like he had pointed to the witness and the gun kept jamming, and then so he just went back to his original target. Dude, I have no idea, man, but he must, to leave the witness right there, he must either have known exactly what he was doing and known exactly how exposed he was and what the attack surfaces were in terms of finding him, or this dude's an amateur, bro. I want to be clear at this time. Every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, and targeted attack, Tish said. Millions of people will be enjoying the tree lighting tonight, among other holiday events, and the NYPD will be out there with them, keeping them safe. Thompson is survived by his wife, Paulie Thompson, 51, and their 2 children. They live together in the family's $1.5 million home in Maple Grove, Minnesota, according to the Daily Mail. NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney said investigators were reaching out to law enforcement in Minnesota as well as Thompson's co-workers and family members to see if there have been any specific threats against him in the past. Reached by NBC News, Thompson's wife confirmed there had been threats against her husband, but said she did not know the specifics. Wow. Dude, this is wild. Man, you got threats against you. You are a target like that, and you're going to walk around in a place like New York that forces you to be disarmed? Dude, what are you doing? Dude, this is crazy. That guy should have had protection. That guy should have been armed himself. Man, that's wild, bro. You really putting yourself out there, vulnerable as hell, when you are a target, especially you getting death threats. Dude, how did you not Jason Bourne yourself? Dude, if I'm sitting there as big as you are with paper like you got, I'm having people stage invasions in my home. I'm taking my kids to the gun range. I'm training them, dude. I'm having people. I'm taking my kids to training sessions where they practice fighting off getting kidnapped by themselves and how to draw and how to. Dude, what are you, bro, man? It's real out there, dog. People want your paper, and if they don't want your paper, they want your life, dude. This is people. People will die off of 20 cents in the street. It's crazy that freaking. It's crazy that people are taking life so nonchalant, bro. Surveillance footage released by the NYPD shows the alleged suspect wanted for the shooting death of United Health CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan on Wednesday. There had been some threats, Paulette Thompson said, told NBC News via cell phone. Basically, I don't know. A lack of coverage. I don't know the details. I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him. The police were in the process of conducting a search on Thompson's hotel room to investigate further, Kenney said. The United Health Group found a statement confirming Thompson's death. They issued a statement. We are deeply saddened and shocked by the passing of our dear friend and colleague Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare. Brian was a highly respected colleague and our friend to all who worked with him. We are closely working with the New York Police Department and ask for your patience and understanding during this difficult time. Our hearts go out to Brian's family and all that were close to him. NYPD is offering a $10,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. 2 surveillance photos were released by the department to show the perpetrator in a hooded sweatshirt hiding his face, pointing a gun in front of the hotel, and then fleeing on an e-bike. Kenney described the shooter as a light-skinned male wearing light brown wool cream-colored jacket, a black face mask, black and white sneakers, and a very distinctive gray backpack. Interesting. Very distinctive. It is, isn't it? It's one of those roll-top bags, right? Like to protect it from the rain. where you scrunch up the top and it's got the flap that comes over it with the clips. That's what it looks like. The shooter steps onto the sidewalk from behind the car. He ignores numerous other pedestrians, approaches the victim from behind, and shoots him in the back, detectives said. The shooter then walks towards the victim and continues to shoot. It appears that the gun malfunctions as he clears the jam and begins to fire again. But what if he had specifically had a set number of bullets with messages on them, right? So he fires the first shot, and then he clears the rounds that have the messages that he wrote on them, right? And then he fires again. You get what I'm saying? That very well could have been what was going on. The shooter, okay, we already said that. Boom. The surveillance footage shows the alleged suspect wanted for the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan, fleeing the scene on a bicycle on Wednesday. The motive for this murder is currently unknown, but based on the evidence that we have so far, it does appear the victim was specifically targeted, but at this point we don't know why. This does not appear to be a random act of violence. Mayor Eric Adams also assured New Yorkers, including business executives, that the NYPD was on the job, as Thompson's shooting was not a random act of violence. Yo, it doesn't matter if it's a random act of violence or not, okay? We want the people of the city want to know that if there are mafias or if there are experienced individuals that wish to engage in illegal activities like this, that you can protect them from it, even if it is targeted, even if it is planned. You don't know the context. Yeah, sure, it was a rich billionaire this time, but what if it escalates from there? What if people see this guy and he never gets caught and people are like, oh, he did something right. Let me try to do this like him. Sources previously told Fox that Thompson was shot in the chest and leg shortly before his United Healthcare annual investors meeting. The sources said the shooting was not a random incident. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the former Democratic vice president candidate, reacted to the news of Thompson's killing, decrying the shooting as horrifying news and a terrible loss for the business and healthcare community in Minnesota, according to the New York Times. Cameras captured by NYPD officers attempting to revive Thompson. Earlier, before identifying Thompson as the victim, NYPD told Fox News Digital that a 50-year-old man was shot in the chest outside Hilton Hotel on 6th Avenue, approximately 6:46 a.m. Wow, early. This dude was on it. And was transported to the Mount Sinai West Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. No arrests have been made, and the investigation is ongoing, according to a police spokesperson. News cameras captured video of NYPD officers working to revive Thompson on the sidewalk outside of the Hilton before he was transported to the hospital. Several witnesses claimed to Fox 5 News Network that the suspect appeared to have been lying in wait, potentially overnight, outside of the hotel, waiting on the victim. Wow. So he knew where he was staying, and he might have been just waiting nearby, watching for an opportune time to catch him, which means he might have generally known about the venue and the event, and he might have been able to make an educated calculation that Thompson was going to be staying there, but he might not have known the specifics about Thompson's schedule. So that, to me, is a relevant variable in terms of how much information the suspect was working with when he's planning this kind of thing. New York Post first identified Thompson as the shooting victim. Thompson's sister, Elena Reviez, told The Times on a phone interview that she was still processing hearing that her brother had been killed. A police officer stands guard in front of the Hilton Hotel Manhattan where Thompson was killed. He was a good person, and I'm so sad, they reportedly said, adding that Thompson was a loving father for his 2 children. According to ABC News, the police say the shooter was wearing a ski mask. At the press conference, the chief detectives said the shooter fled northbound in an alleyway between 54th and 55th Street. Once on 55th Street, the shooter continued to walk westbound on Avenue of the Americas, where he got onto an electric bike and rode into Central Park at 6:48 a.m. The NYPD later walked back its claim that he'd used one of those city bikes. You know, those city bikes that you rent or whatever? They can track those everywhere. Apparently, someone on Twitter, apparently someone on Twitter thought that they'd figured out which e-bike it was, and then the NYPD looked into it and said, okay, this guy must have been on a different kind of e-bike. Kenny told the reporters that a cell phone was recovered from the alleyway and it was still being examined by forensics. Seen near the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan, where a man was shot to death on Wednesday. The suspect is described as a skinny man, about 6'1", wearing all black, according to ABC News. This is Brian Thompson in 2017. Wow, man. Okay, so that's the basics of what happened, right? That's the basics of what happened. But there was a witness. There was a witness. So what did the witness see? Let's go ahead and check this out, man. When a bystander witnessed the early morning killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson at New York's famed Hilton Hotel, he feared his own life as well, afraid that the gunman would shoot him while fleeing the scene. He'd been sitting in his car and witnessed the whole thing, so he was not the guy. Whoa. When you watch the video, there's this car. It's parked right next to the shooter. The shooter walks right to the right of it, right? It's got its lights on, like someone's got their foot on the brake, okay? The shooter right next to them, right in eyesight, goes pop, 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 pop. Over on this side of the shooter, there's someone who's literally standing on the wall, chilling on their cell phone. The bullets go right past them. You see them drop and then dip, right? So, bro, I want to hear that witness. Who was the witness that was there that dropped and dipped to the left, who was right near as the bullets was passing? Who we're hearing from right now is the dude who was chilling in that car that you see in the video. I heard a shot. I looked around. I saw the guy with the gun. He shot 3 times and then he started running. It turns out that the shocking assassination was also captured on surveillance footage, and it occurred just hours before the New Yorkers were to gather in the Midtown neighborhood for the annual Christmas tree lighting at Rockefeller Center. Amar Abdelmullah, a driver, witnessed the shooting and told Pix 11, "I wasn't paying attention, and then I heard the shot. It was a silent gun, a black gun. I saw him after he shot him, and he was running across the street. I tried to take a picture, but he was too far away." Wow, man. I was shocked. First time I seen a crime in front of me, Amar added. I was afraid he would shoot me too in my car. I saw everything. The police descended onto the scene, which occurred near West 54th Street and 6th Avenue Wednesday morning, but the NYPD has not released a motive yet. While Michael Disson was at the hotel for a different conference, he told the Daily Mail he heard a commotion around 7:05 a.m. I just heard all these sirens and I thought New York City, you know. But then I went up and I had coffee and I saw everyone looking at their phones and I saw what happened. Thompson is the subject of an investigation being conducted by the Department of Justice for alleged antitrust violations and accusations of insider trading. United is the largest health insurance provider by market share in the U.S., and activists have conducted numerous protests who allege that it is systematically denied patient care. This includes one such protest earlier this year. This resulted in the arrest of 11 people outside the United Healthcare headquarters in Minnetonka, Minnesota. The company also wound up in the headlines last February after being hit by a cyber attack that cost $872 million. Flags were lowered to half staff outside the company's Minnesota headquarters. In a statement, the company noted it was deeply saddened and shocked by the news of the assassination. One has to wonder why Thompson was targeted and why the assassination took place in front of surveillance cameras. The killer seemed to know when the victim was going to emerge, and the killing took place in the early morning on Wednesday as Thompson left the hotel just after 6:45 a.m. In the footage, we see Thompson stumbling away from the assailant, who follows him and continues to shoot him as he falls to the ground. The assailant then fled the scene, fleeing to Central Park on his bike. NYPD has since released a $10,000 reward for information. Witnesses say the gunman waited for some time outside the hotel prior to the shooting and even knew which door the respected CEO would emerge from. Now, New York is a big city, and you got a lot of buildings stuffed in those city blocks. So sometimes there's only one way in and out of these big ass hotels. I don't know, maybe not if you're someone connected like Thompson, you know what I mean? But just for the average person, oftentimes there's only one entrance in and out of these buildings. Basically, I don't know. A lack of coverage, I don't know the details. I just know that there was some people that had been threatening him, she told NBC News. All right, so this is basically some stuff we already read. For this to happen in this area is weird, the employee said. For this guy to do it around here with all these things and cameras and everything, there's got to be something behind it. I mean, you got to be pretty crazy to do something like that. Indeed, this is a truly bizarre situation, and who knows if we'll ever find out what happened. Perhaps the suspect in this shooting will be found, perhaps not. Either way, we are living in strange times. That sketches me out. Why is the New York Post talking about, oh, who knows if he'll really be found? And then, yo, we got data that was scraped on the bike that was used, right? We got data that was scraped on the bike, but then the NYPD, as soon as that data was given to them, they were like, oh, no, it wasn't a city bike. Bro, sometimes I wonder how connected some of these things are, because it seems like there is just no interest when you'd think that the FBI and people would be all over this. Sometimes it seems like there's no interest. You know what I mean? They could be playing dumb just to wait for the dude to make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? So they could be playing dumb like that, but who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows? Anyway, apparently there were messages on these bullets, guys. Apparently there were messages engraved on the bullets. Messages on bullets fired by United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson's assassin bears eerie link to a book condemning insurance companies. Sources said that several of the pieces of evidence each contained one word, indicating the shooter may have been trying to leave a message. You notice? I saw in the video he extracted the bullets out of that chamber 3 times. I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. At large, the suspect who gunned down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a midday hotel may have left a message on the bullets he used to kill the executive Wednesday morning, according to police sources. The NYPD is investigating the possible message, which appears to include the words deny, dispose, defend, engraved on live rounds and shell casings left behind the masked assassin after he shot Thompson several times at about 6:46 a.m. before fleeing the scene. The words are possible attacks on the health industry, which Thompson is one of the most powerful leaders, and strikingly similar to a 2010 book decrying the industry and the business. Surveillance footage outside Midtown Hotel shows a person of interest in the suspected shooter. Okay. Delay, deny, and defend. 2 of the 3 words seemingly left is subtitled Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What We Can Do About It. It almost seems like those bullets were a reference to this book. And instead of delay, it says dispose, right? Dispose, deny, defend. You get what I'm saying? Like he's responding by disposing of these CEOs. You see what I'm saying? It almost has like a manifesto vibe to it. Police are looking for possible ties to the book, as well as a more general references to the health industry as potential motive, sources told the Post. The book's author, J.M. Feynman, is a distinguished professor emeritus at Rutgers Law School, declined to comment on Thursday morning. Interesting. Why did he decline to comment? That's very interesting. Maybe he didn't have nothing politically correct to say. There was a lot of these rich college-educated leftists that were like, oh, good, we need to kill more of these CEOs on Blue Sky, saying it. Wild, right? Cops had recovered 3 live millimeter rounds, 3 discharged rounds, and casings from in front of the Hilton Hotel on 6th Avenue, where Thompson of Minnesota was set to host an investors conference that morning. Sources say several pieces of evidence in each contained one word, indicating the killer may have been trying to leave a message as investigators try to piece together a motive. Okay, basically repeating some stuff, used a silencer, he was waiting outside. Okay, here's a recap. What we know about the shooting. Brian Thompson, CEO insurance giant, was gunned down on Wednesday. Brazen targeted attack. Methodical killer used a firearm with a silencer outside the Hilton Hotel off 6th Avenue. The gunman fired at Thompson multiple times, striking him in the back and his calf before fleeing. NYPD released a new photo of the hooded suspect standing in front of the counter at Starbucks at West and 56th Street Avenue just minutes before the Hilton Hotel where he gunned down. Wow. What did he touch in there? Thompson was named CEO of United Healthcare in April 2021. He joined the company in 2004. One of several senior executives. His wife, Paulette, said her husband had been getting threats. The NYPD is investigating a possible message. He ran into the alleyway. He bought coffee, a water bottle, 2 power bars. Interesting. He tossed his bottle coffee cup in the trash can, dug out of the garbage, and they now have as evidence. Whoa. This dude's leaving evidence left and right. Oh my God. He bought a coffee, a water bottle, and 2 power bars at a nearby Starbucks before and tossed his bottle and coffee cup in the trash, which cops dug out of the garbage and now have as evidence, according to sources. The investigators also discovered a phone in an alleyway near the Hilton Hotel, which they believe belongs to the sources say. Investigators have obtained a search warrant to comb through the contents of the phone. A lot of evidence could also help investigators determine the motive for an execution-style hit. Based on the evidence we have so far, it does appear the victim was specifically targeted, but at this point we don't know why. It does not appear to be random. CEO was rushed, pronounced... My jeez. Pronounced gone. Oops. Yo, my jeez. My jeez. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, so... this is what the NYPD said was false, okay? We had Riley here who scrapes e-bike data from city bikes. And apparently, right here from right next to the shooting was a path for a city bike that looks like it could have traveled through Central Park and made its way up, okay? And it's around the same time as the shooting. But the NYPD came and debunked it. They said it has nothing to do with the shooting, apparently. So, I mean, this guy made so many mistakes. I wouldn't be surprised if he caught a city bike at the same time. My gosh, dude. He's leaving cups. He's leaving water bottles. He's leaving casings. He's leaving witnesses. Jeez, man. DOJ launched a probe into United Healthcare for insider trading and attempted to stop a monopoly. So, could this be motive for why people are upset with this guy? How corrupt and how much of a stronghold do these guys have on the entire industry? Multiple executives at United Healthcare were under investigation by the Justice Department for insider trading and fraud when Brian Thompson was shot and killed on Wednesday. Multiple senior executives at United Healthcare have been under investigation by the Justice Department, although it is not clear if CEO Brian was a part of that. Thompson was gunned down in Midtown Manhattan on Wednesday morning in what police call a targeted attack. There were reports that executives were accused of insider trading and fraud, and last year the DOJ launched a probe into whether the nation's largest insurer was unfairly restricting competitors and running a monopoly. Last month, the DOJ, along with its attorney generals from Maryland, Illinois, New Jersey, and New York, filed a lawsuit to block United Healthcare Group's Incorporated's proposed $3.3 billion acquisition of rival home health and hospice provider Amedisys Inc. And I don't know if that actually went through, because I've been hearing some moves in the industry that this is actually happening, and these businesses are consolidating. United Healthcare signage is displayed outside a store in Queensboro of New York on Monday. Okay, whatever. Transaction, according to the complaint, would eliminate competition between United Health and Amedisys, which might be why they want to do it. By eliminating the competition, patients who receive home health and hospice services would be harmed, as would insurers who contract for home and health services and nurses who provide for those services. Yeah. This is the type of neoliberal consolidation that we need to protect our economies from. First off, there should be no healthcare provider as big as United Health, okay? And then secondly, dude, allowing them to buy up, we should not allow corporations to buy other corporations. And we should not allow one corporation to own the entire supply chain. Dude, we need to keep corporations competing with each other. And we need to keep corporations vying for a voice against each other, so that way we don't have too much power and wealth concentrated into a single hand that they can use to entrench themselves. I have a whole economic system that's designed to limit those types of practices, guys. So please check it out. I appreciate you. We are challenging this merger. It's on itschroma.com. We are challenging this merger because home health and hospice patients and their families experience some of the most difficult moments of their lives and deserve affordable, high-quality care options. Merrick Garland said last month, the Justice Department will not hesitate to check unlawful consolidation and monopolization in the healthcare markets that threaten to harm vulnerable patients and their families and healthcare workers. CEO of United Healthcare was shot and killed. Both companies view each other as close competitors. United Health proposed divesting certain facilities to Vital Care Group to address some of the overlaps between United Healthcare and Amedisys, but that doesn't address the competition issue. Dude, you can't. When they are fighting for each other, they are fighting against each other. We got a healthcare provider and an insurance provider. Okay, to combine them is going to allow insurance to scam patients, deny care. Dude, United Healthcare is working behind the scenes to majorly consolidate massive portions of how your healthcare is managed and how health decisions are made behind the scenes, guys. And it's really making me nervous. And honestly, dude, like this whole healthcare industry that we have is a scam. Look at Mexico's system. We need to get rid of single payer, guys. This is wrong. And this is exactly the type of thing that is going to result in these companies taking advantage of the single payer system that we're using. United Health proposed diversing certain facilities to Vital Care Group to redress overlaps. The proposal did not alleviate harm in over 100 home health, hospice, and labor markets, the DOJ added, which generate over $1 billion in revenue each year. Wow, American healthcare is unwell. Unless this $3.3 billion transaction is stopped, United Health Group will further extend its grip on home health and hospice care, threatening seniors, their families, and nurses. No, it's true, man. It's true. So you can see the controversy around United Healthcare. There must have been a lot of players who desired for what happened to happen, right? And the dude who did the hit seemed like he might have been discount. Maybe not. Maybe this was part of a plan and part of leaving a message. Who knows, man? But this stuff is crazy. The message on the bullets, the witnesses left. He drops his phone in the alleyway. He's out there putting cups and bottles in the trash can after drinking out of them. Woo! Man, yo, this guy's probably going to get caught, guys. This is wild. Unless whoever's looking for him does not want to catch him. You feel me? Anyway, thank you so much, guys. This is the video for the day. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.